Hello, 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 and what is going on, everybody? I am Master of the TDS, and I'm joined by my lovely wife,
WritingRaven.
and we're back for another episode of Psycho-Synopsis, the segment where we summarize all the Psycho for you. 3 topics from the past week, all summarized in one video for you to enjoy and consume at your leisure.
You're welcome. Now let's get into it.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Is that gasoline I smell?
No, man. No!
Fans of the original The Crow are upset about the upcoming reboot, feeling uneasy that it's being remade 20 years later after actor Brandon Lee's tragic death on set, despite director Rupert Sanders acknowledging Lee's impact on the original film.
I mean, what else did they expect?
It's important to mention that there have been a lot of reboots and, sequels to the original Crow. However, the original Crow was very good because of Brandon Lee playing the role of the Crow. Unfortunately, as everybody knows, he passed away tragically on set from a misfire of a gun, I believe. It was not meant to have a bullet in it, but it did. And they ended up finishing it to kind of honor his legacy.
Yes, they also put for Brandon and Eliza, his at the time fiance, at the end of the film.
The point is, it doesn't need to be remade.
Not at all. Even the actors and the director from the original movie don't want this happening. The actress who played Sarah said that Bill Skarsgård's Crow looks grungy and dirty, and the director is basically saying that, no, this really does not need to happen at all. Leave Lee's legacy alone.
He also said that the images of Bill Skarsgård looked like Eric Draven with a bad hair day.
Yeah, and there were people in my Twitter comments saying that he looks more like Jared Leto's Joker than the Crow. Which they have a point. Bill Skarsgård is not a bad casting, but they made him look terrible. Not to mention what they did to Shelley.
We're not even going to go into that. Now, this is going to premiere June 7th in theaters. I don't foresee it going well because it's not going to ever surpass the timelessness and the amazing performance of Brandon Lee in the original. And maybe they're trying to appeal to a certain audience. I believe you mentioned...
Yes, the director of the new one said that he wants 19-year-olds today to look at it and say, this is us. Why 19-year-olds?
I'll tell you what's really going to happen. The 19-year-olds are going to look at this and go, wow, this is us. Oh, look, TikTok. And then they'll be gone. I'm right.
You're not wrong at all.
Trying appealing to certain demographics for movies is not a problem. The issue is that this is a movie that should be accessible to multiple people.
Yeah.
And whether you're going to honor the legacy of Brandon Lee or not, I think that we have to get to this point and people need to realize that there are some movies that do not need to be remade or do not need to have sequels and frankly don't need to be touched.
This one being one of them.
Exactly. Now, keep in mind, I think the film's very good. I don't think it's one of the best films of all time.
I give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I give it around that too. I think it's very good for what it was. And of course, it's so tragic about Brandon Lee. But we don't need a sequel. We don't need reboots. They never have done well. And this I don't foresee doing well. And the weird piercings and the tattoos and whatever, do people actually do that these days? Do people actually look like that?
Yes, unfortunately. Especially the emos or the extremist goths. Like one article said that he looks suitably goth. I disagree on that.
Well, we'll have to see how it does in theaters and when it does come out. And let us know in the comments if you want us to watch it and review it at some point. That might be something we're interested in doing if the opportunity arises.
Perhaps.
Hold up, man. You can't make that.
The highly anticipated Tron Ares is teased with a first look image showcasing the menacing red suit of its villain, hinting at a darker tone for the sequel to Tron Legacy.
At least we're finally getting another one.
First off, we have to recognize that this is made by Disney.
True.
And not learning from any past performances of his recently, they decided to have Jared Leto be cast in this movie.
Yeah, that's a bit of a red flag these days.
It's Tron in time. This is going to come out in 2025. And what I found interesting, which a lot of people hadn't covered, is they gave us a little bit of what the movie was going to be about.
It's going to be about a program named Ares, sent from the grid to the real world on a dangerous mission, which I suppose could work considering that Tron Legacy ended with a program coming into the real world from the grid. But what mission would he have? Killing Sam?
Well, to be fair, we have to recognize this is not going to come out for an entire year still. So we don't know exactly when. It just said 2025, which means that it could be come out late 2025. We don't know.
True. There was also something else about it that you noticed regarding Red.
Oh, so a lot of people are saying how they messed up Tron. Now, first off, I want to mention something. The original Tron is timeless.
Mm-hmm.
The sequel, Tron Legacy, I actually liked it.
It was actually the first Tron movie I saw. I still haven't seen the original, but I really liked Tron Legacy.
Tron Legacy was good, and we'll have to see the original. Yes, I can already see the comments. We'll get to the original. It's on the list now.
The never-ending list.
We started making progress on it, so I guess that's a good...
We made a tiny dent.
Sure. So we're doing it. We're doing it. You don't need the comments. I see them. We get it.
Go away.
But Tron Legacy was actually pretty good for a sequel. Now, I will say that, Disney's track record lately has not been very good, so it would not surprise me if they do end up ruining this.
Understatement.
I have some hope for this. Again, keep in mind, when I say I have some hope for this, it's that I have a little bit of holding on to some hope that it might be good, but that doesn't mean I'm expecting it to be good.
Yeah. But regarding that Red character.
Yeah, so people were talking about how they messed up Tron. Now, that character is clearly not Tron. And I remember, and I don't remember if this was in the animated series, which I did watch, which, again, yes, there was an animated series of Tron, which was actually pretty good. But it fills in some of the gaps from Tron to Tron Legacy, and it mentions a character called Red, I believe. I don't know if he was in the Tron Legacy. I think it's been a while since I watched it. But this character looks like Red, so it could very well be Red.
I mean, the lighting is red, so who knows? Maybe it is.
Well, again, it says the program's named Ares, so we don't know if the program we're seeing is actually Ares, and that's what they're saying, or whatnot.
Well, if they're going with Ares, the Greek god of war, his sacred color was red. So
it would make sense, but again, we don't have a lot of information yet, but I like seeing that this is not in development hell anymore, and I'm cautiously optimistic. Again, it's Disney, so we have to keep it with a grain of salt, but I'm hopeful because it was not that bad.
A grain of salt? Take it with a mountain of salt.
I don't like that much salt.
True. Still, it's Disney. You gotta have a mountain, not a grain.
With Disney, they charge me for every single grain. We'll have to wait and see how this turns out and what more news comes out of it as...
We get more news?
Yeah.
You're so predictable.
Predictable? Predictable? Oh, you call this predictable? What's this? Boom!
Okay, the spider's new.
Spider? Yes. The spider. Even the smallest bite from Arachnus dethicus will instantly paralyze... Oh!
He's back, and double the fun.
Double the terrible fun.
The Megamind sequel, Megamind vs. the Doom Syndicate, has premiered on Peacock with a 0% Rotten Tomatoes score from critics and a 13% audience score, criticized for its animation changes and perceived lower quality than the original.
Lower quality is a severe understatement.
Now, I want to mention that actually, as of doing this, it is actually at a 9% audience score, and only 4 critics have even reviewed it.
That is bad.
Now, one of the things that stuck out to me, I liked Megamind. I thought the original movie was great. We watched it recently, and it still holds up.
Yes, it does. But with this new movie/series, none of the original cast are back. Literally none. I don't think they could afford them. And considering the animation quality, it's clear they couldn't afford it.
Not only that, but it seems like they forgot the own lore. They kind of retconned a bunch of it to kind of make it make sense. And again, spoilers for anybody who wants to watch. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want to watch this.
Not at all.
The score from the critics is spot on. Sorry. I'm going to say this. It's spot on. It is the most cash grab garbage I've ever seen in my entire life. I have never seen a sequel that is this bad, and I'm going to even say that. And I watched The Last Jedi, and even that I'd take over this.
Wow, that's saying something.
Because The Last Jedi at least tries to make it Star Wars. This doesn't even try. They make him a bumbling idiot. He literally defeats the Doom Syndicate by shooting tennis balls at them.
That's so dumb.
He literally makes a pack that shoots tennis balls, and that's how he's supposed to beat them.
The real Megamind would shoot spiky balls.
And don't forget, we also have the cringe Megamind Rules series, which, to be fair, is not faring much better. I checked out immediately when it mentioned in the synopsis that they were going to make him the first superhero influencer.
I am facepalming so hard right now. Honestly, they wasted Adam Lambert.
The intro song is the one thing I think is actually very good. I think it's very catchy.
Yes, it is. Adam Lambert does a great job with it, and apparently he voices one of the characters too. I loved Adam Lambert during his run in American Idol, and I really liked him growing up before I developed my new music sense. But he's wasted. I'm sorry. As talented as he is, and as cool as he is, he's completely wasted.
They basically change a lot of things from the original, where they make Roxanne Ritchie the mayor. They end up having this new girl, Keiko, be his social media manager, and she basically pops up everywhere to kind of get him out of problems, and it's really bad. And they give it like an MCU-style end credit scene where they hint that, oh, there's going to be more, and they bring in a new villain.
Machiavellian, who is apparently Megamind's mentor, which he never had because he grew up in prison.
No, he taught Megamind everything he knows, except in the original movie they show the prisoners teaching him and no villains, and he's supposed to be isolated, and that's the whole reason it makes his story more compelling, but we're going to ruin all that for this. I mean, I'm sure that there are kids, like 5-year-olds somewhere who really enjoy this, but pass. Don't watch it.
Save your brain.
If you want a sequel to Megamind, watch the short called Megamind and the Button of Doom. That's where the series ends.
Yes, it does. We do not need anything more after that. The end.
Why don't you have a seat?
Because this isn't a therapy session. I'm just asking you what people in your racket say about handling this particular situation.
And now it's time for the diagnosis of the week,
where we diagnose the week with a mental illness.
Because someone has to.
And we have an interesting diagnosis for this week.
Do tell.
So the diagnosis for this week is narcissistic entitlement.
Please explain.
So narcissistic entitlement is a psychological term used to describe a belief or attitude of superiority, entitlement, and lack of empathy for others. Individuals with narcissistic entitlement often feel that they deserve special treatment, admiration, and success, regardless of their actual achievements or the impact of their behavior on others. It is a concept that has emerged from the field of psychology to describe a particular pattern of behavior associated with narcissistic personality traits.
In relation to today's topics, with the Crow reboot, the criticism and backlash towards the reboot is a potential response to Hollywood's narcissistic entitlement in revisiting and potentially tarnishing a beloved classic for profit.
With Tron Ares, despite some excitement, the negative reception towards the Tron Legacy sequel might be due to Disney's less-than-stellar track record with movies lately, and the fear that they will disregard fans and mess it up.
And with the Megamind sequel movie and series, the poorer reception is a result of the narcissistic entitlement by the filmmakers, who prioritized profit over honoring the original film's legacy and quality.
We see this all the time, where they take franchises and bring them back, or they take characters and bring them back only to degrade them, break them down, and then they expect praise. No, you don't get to just do that. And then when fans give you criticism, you don't get to just call fans names and do whatever. That's what they do. But they've done it so often that nobody cares anymore. These words are meaningless. So by their own narcissistic entitlement, they've actually made the words that they use to label fans when they don't want to listen to criticism completely meaningless. Until such a point where they wake up and realize that, criticism doesn't have to mean you must change things. It just means you have to listen to what people have to say rather than calling them names. Hopefully that will change at some point. But until then, we still deal with this entitlement. And that's why I feel this is a great diagnosis for this week.
I agree.
That is all we have for this week. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and also make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe with notifications on so you do not miss your weekly therapy session.
Or you will be charged.
Gothic Therapy